What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on, people? How we doing tonight? What's happening, Spike? There he is. There he is. What's going on with you? He said made it to this one tonight and get to see it live. Hey, hope you're doing well. My friend, I am, you know what, last couple of weeks have been busy, crazy. And like I said, I'm doing everything I can do from going places to talking to people. I'm in and out of every barbershop. I'm in and out of every beauty salon, every store. I'm in and out of every church over there on the north side, doing all I can. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to sit there and say Rev didn't try. If the socialists and the nuts, the idiots, the buffoons take over North Minneapolis, you can't sit there and say that I didn't put my nose to the grind and try to get this man over the hump. I don't think people understand yet. I really, it's one of those situations, Spike, where, Spike, if you ever want to come on and hang out with me, let me know. But, Spike, I do believe this is one of those situations where people don't understand the urgency in making sure that Fry, even though, again, y'all have heard me, hold on. Let me say this, because I got called out. I got called out the other day, and the guy was like, "Hold on, Rev, how is it that you're going to go after Fry, but yet here you are being behind him?" Because what's actually trying to take Fry out is worse. No. Listen to me. I know everybody always talking about the worst of two. Love to. I have to find my webcam. Well, you hurry up and get that done, Spike. You hurry up and get that webcam taken care of so you can come on and hang out with me one night. But listen to me, people. I mean, I don't know how else to make you all understand. I don't. Because what's going to happen is, once it's at your doorstep, then you're going to be talking about, how did this get here? I told you how it got there. I told you how it's going to get there. I told you exactly what was going to happen. Y'all can sit here and act like, oh, I'll just stay out in my Maple Grove, and I'll never have to go downtown. Well, don't worry about it. Downtown will be at your door. It will be at your door. I'll never go to a game. I'll never go see the Vikings. I'll never go to the Twins game. I will never go to see a Wolves game. I'll never go to the bar down there. Is that, no, seriously, do we really want to live that? Man, I keep telling y'all, when I got here, look, in the 1990s, I got here in 1990. I got here in August of 1990. And my wife took me downtown Minneapolis the following week. And so when I first got here to Minnesota, I came in from Anaheim, California. That's where I met my wife. So I met my wife in Anaheim, California, and I got here on a Greyhound bus. And she was living with her foster parents out in Elk River. But her biological dad lived in Rockford. If you know where Rockford, Minnesota is, you understand where I'm about to go with this. So my first 2 nights in the state of Minnesota was out in Elk River. Because again, that's where her foster parents lived. And then she goes, well, you're going to be staying with my dad. Cool with me. I'm fine. Because at the time we wasn't married. We had a child. We wasn't married yet. Had to figure out some things to get us where we're at today, 38 years later. But so she drives me out to Rockford, Minnesota. Yeah. And her dad, if you ever go through the little town of Rockford and you go down Main Street, right before you get to the park, if you look over to the left-hand side, on the corner, there's this trailer that's there now. It's a big trailer now, but he had a small trailer. On that corner is where I lived for a whole year until her and I figured out what we were going to do and get things together. And then we ended up moving. And then but if you go up 55, there's some blue apartments that's right on 55 there. I lived there for a year and a half. But we would go into downtown Minneapolis, like on the weekends, have a good time to enjoy ourselves. No problem. My wife would have girls' night. They go downtown. Girls walking downtown, 4 of them, all night. No problem. That's gone. That's gone. I wouldn't let my wife, when my wife come to church, this is how, she's not allowed to go on Lindell. She's not allowed to drive up Lindell. Not allowed. She has to come up. She has to drive on Lindell. She has to drive on Lindell for about that much. That's about it. But she comes up Washington. She goes to 26. She goes to Lowry. She makes a left on from Lowry to Lindell, and the church is sitting right there. That's it. You're not allowed to go nowhere else. Nowhere else. And I say that because I tell my boys, stay out of Minneapolis. Don't give Papa a reason to go to jail. Don't do it. Because it won't be the police looking for somebody who done jacked my kid or hurt my kid. I'll do the time. I have no problem doing the time for what belongs to me. So that's why I tell my boys, don't go over north. Just stay from over north. There's no reason for you to be over there at all. Don't go there unless you come and see me at the church. Other than that, I don't ever want to hear you. I don't ever want to hear you over in North Minneapolis. Ever. Just in case. I'm being safe. I'm keeping me out of jail. And the same thing with my wife. She goes out with her friends or something like that. They go over to Maple Grove. They go to Arbor Lakes. That's where they go now. But I say all of that to say this here. If you think it's bad now, and if this clown who wants to be mayor gets his hands on the city, hell, look, y'all can call me what you want. I know everybody always sit there and be like, well, you can't say that, Tim. Oh, I can, because I can prove it. Who's been the biggest beneficiary of all this fraud? Who? Well, I can't say who it is? Or I'm not homophobic, but Islamophobic? What they want to call me? What the girl called me the other day? Because I made a point about that? These people have taken Minnesota to the cleaners. And you know what the white liberal has done about it? Nothing. And people, what about the black Democrats? What about black? Ain't shit we can do. We don't write the checks. We ain't in charge. We ain't in charge doling that money out. Ain't none of us, hold on now, ain't none of us in charge of doling that money out. Ain't none of us wanted them here. Y'all brought them here. Your people. Your people. That's why it cracks me up. You know what cracks me up? It cracks me up when I see some of these here right-wingers. Especially when they love to sit there and say Obama did this and Obama screwed white America. Obama being in the White House screwed white America to the point where It is no matter what happens, it's always Obama. Bill Clinton dropped off Ilhan. George Bush put more Somalians here in Minnesota than Obama did. But you can't tell that to the Republicans. But when we was fighting, see, I'm going to show you. I've always told y'all, I can show you examples to where the Republicans, people always talk about, well, Rev, how is the Republicans going to come into the inner city? You think the inner city, you think black people like these Somalians here? We fought to keep them out of here. But the Catholics, who else? The Libertarian, what do you call it? Lutherans. We was fighting to keep them out of our community. But they dropped them off. So I don't understand why white people are not mad at them people. Why ain't you mad at the Catholic Charities, the one who brought them here? Why ain't you upset? You talking about a way that black people and the Republicans can come together and agree on this, on something? This is it. If I was a Republican, and I'm out in sticks and cow land, or rocks and cows, as our governor says, that's what I would do. I would come in and say, you know what? I'm 110% behind you. I'll get me a group of black folks, and that's what we would rally behind. And the Republicans here in Minnesota, they want to know how they can come into the black community. Come in and talk. Let's talk immigration. Let's talk these people who have stole billions of dollars, billions of your taxpayers' dollars are sitting overseas right now as I speak. So then when people ask me, oh, what can the Republicans do? There's a lot of things Republicans do. Chuck said, agreed. I'm upset with these organizations. Right, man. The white liberal Democrat said, you know what? We can hold on to power with these people. And have y'all noticed that they've been moving these people around? My understanding now, I'm not sure. I have not been out there. For once, I'm going to throw something at the wall that I didn't fact check. I didn't. But my understanding, what I've been told, and I'm going to put it that way. So if I'm wrong, hold on. So if I'm wrong, y'all can come on here and say, Rev, you was wrong about something you said, and I will be more than happy to take back every word I just said. But my understanding, they out in Lakeville now. They out in Lily White Lakeville. Farmington, Lakeville area, you can't get no whiter than that. Well, yeah, you can. Sartell. But my understanding, they're coming out that way now. Yeah, buddy. Y'all got it. Y'all, and this is what black folks sitting back like this. Because we told y'all. We told you. But nobody. Them Democrats said to the Republicans, screw you. We're going to do this here. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that gets me about these white liberals. They never do research. Right? Look it up for you. Don't take my word for it. Look it up for yourself. Watch this. In Somalia, do you know what happened to a homosexual? In Somalia, you know what happens if two men walk into a mosque and talking about, we want to get married? But all of a sudden, hold on, think about this for a second. But all of a sudden, that group of people say it's okay. We know what our religions say. we know what we believe in our heart, we can let it go. And we're going to go over here with the Democrats. Why? Because the Democrats say, we'll give you housing, we'll give you cars, we'll give you money, we'll give you, what else you need? Health care, food. And they dropped all of their religion. What their religion totally believe. Llano Lakes, thank you, Chuck. That's what I was gonna say. Right? But hey, Chuck, they got the land. My understanding, if I'm wrong, Rev, that was wrong what you said, I will come back on here and I say, my understanding, Chuck, with that land that they got out in Llano Lakes, what you're talking about, I know exactly where you're talking about. But that land, right? They had somebody buy that land from the owner, and then they went in and bought the land from the people that bought the land from the owner. So it was a dirty deal, Chuck. I'm just saying what I've heard. Allegedly. But somehow, some way, they're getting all this money to buy all of this land. Richfield, Minnesota. I told you months ago. When I went out, I went out there to the Richfield Community Center, and I was invited out there to speak. And the things these people told me out there in Richfield, I'm sitting there going, Richfield is going to be the next area that's going to fall. Richfield will have a Somali mayor within the next 5 years. Watch. It's going to happen. So that's what cracks me up. Why aren't you guys mad at the very people who gave these people the keys to the situations that they have right now? Why aren't you mad? I don't ever hear you mad at y'all. You'll get mad at Fatat. You get mad at Omar. Oh, you always on Omar. But how did she get it? Omar didn't get off the boat and walk into that seat she in. She didn't. She was helped along the way by a group of people. Why aren't you mad at them? Why? Because they look like you. That's why. Because they look exactly like you. That's why. It's easy for you to be mad at her. That's easy. But it's not as easy for you to be mad at the very people who put her in that seat. Oh, she married her brother. Oh, she's this, and we should send her back. Well, why don't send the people who put her in that seat? Why can't you send them back to where they from? They ain't American. None of y'all are American. I'm more American than y'all are. I know it pisses you off for me to say that, but I am. I am. My people, I guarantee you, my people got here before your people did. I can almost promise you that my folks, when they got off that boat there in South Carolina, in chains, when they stood at that auction and them white men were looking them over, my people, and they bought them, and they made the track. They made the track from Charleston, South Carolina, all the way to Knoxville, Tennessee, and then then they was split up from Knoxville, Tennessee, and took it all the way down to West Helena, Arkansas, and them about that. That's where my people are from. I can go back as far as us getting off the boat. I don't know where I'm from. Once we go back overseas, I have no clue. I'm not able to trace us that far back. But I know my people got off the boat before your people got here. So I'm more of an American than y'all are. I know some people are upset now. But I find a flag in front of my house. I don't care. That's fine with me. That's fine with me too. That's fine with me too. But the only thing I'm saying is, y'all get mad at the people who did it. She didn't do that. She didn't do that. Every step of the way to get her to where she's at today, there was some white folks. And you better believe some Jewish people were behind her too. They were. If you ain't never been to one of her rallies, which are basically Somali, white folks, and Jewish folks. I've been to a couple of her rallies. So I can tell you that for a fact. I can tell you that for a fact. So get mad at those folks. Why don't you? Get upset. He said, mine came on the Mayflower. There you go. Chuck said his people came over on them. Wait a minute. Because, which cracks me. Another thing that cracks me up. Speaking of the Mayflower. Because, Christopher Columbus never came here, right? We do know that. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. I've pissed enough people off today because, my numbers will be going down in a minute because of what I'm saying. Christopher Columbus never made it here to Minnesota. So that's why it cracks me up when everybody's bitching him on about the statue that they tore down. Why should he have a statue? And he never made it here. He ain't never been to Minnesota, for sure. He ain't never been to Minnesota. So watch this here. So instead of putting up Christopher Columbus statue, there was some black men that were hung in Duluth, Minnesota, who was innocent. Who were innocent. Why can't we put a statue of them up there at the Capitol? They were hung by white people in Duluth, Minnesota. At least they were here. Christopher Columbus ain't never even stepped foot in America. He ain't never stepped foot in Minnesota. So why should he have a statue? Because it make y'all feel good. That's the only reason he need a statue here, because it makes you feel good. He don't need a statue here. He ain't never been here. So if you're going to put a statue up there, them black men who was innocent and that white woman lied on them, and y'all hung them right here in Duluth, Minnesota, put their statue up there. That's what I thought. While I done pissed everybody off, hold on now. Let me go a little further. So they had the No Kings rally, right? And all these white folks, that's what it was, out here upset about Donald Trump and things that Donald Trump doing and all this here type of stuff, right? And then they're going to turn around and go, where are the black folks? Leave us the hell alone. No, seriously, leave us alone. We ain't done nothing to nobody. Y'all was just a couple of weeks ago, the right wingers, the Republicans were running around talking about they had black fatigue. So we said, okay, fine. We're out. Period. We're going to go over here and drink our juice and do our line dancing. That's what we've been doing. Chilling. Ain't bothering nobody. Ain't done nothing to nobody. And the minute we walk away and start doing our own thing, now everybody, where the black people at? We ain't got nothing to do with the No King. If y'all want to have some type of civil war and all this here type of stuff, go for it, man. But let me know where it's going to be, because I'm getting my popcorn, I'm getting my binoculars, and I'm getting my lawn chair. I got one of those lawn chairs that rock. I got one of them seriously nice lawn chairs. And then I could have a little canopy over the top. So let me know when this stuff is going to break off. Because right now, white folks is fighting with white folks. That's how I see it, because the black folks ain't did nothing. I mean, Charlie Kirk gets shot, and then white folks go over there and start messing with HBCUs. For what? We didn't shoot him, and he definitely didn't die on a black college. But yet and still, here these boys go running up that. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. We ain't bothering y'all right now. But y'all always so fascinated with us that you always got to figure, where's the black folks? We where we at? We ain't bothering nobody. All the way to the point, watch this here. So the big thing going around today is, Barack Obama went to Virginia, right? Got a special guest.
Mila, can you say hi?
Hi.
You say hi to everybody. Say hi, everybody.
Hi. Yeah, no. Okay. Can you tell them, say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say, love you.
Well, I love you back. I love you back, little one. A pretty girl.
I love you, baby. She sees herself. Okay, let's go finish your noodles.
Oh, we got noodles tonight. That's my newest granddaughter. That is my granddaughter. That is Mila. Mila is the newest one in the family. That's my pretty girl right there. That's my pretty girl. That's both my pretty girls. Let me clear that up for a quick second there. That's both my pretty girls right there. Oh, bye-bye, pretty girl. Bye-bye, pretty girl. Bye-bye, pretty girl. Love you back. Yes, ma'am. That's all that matters to me. That's all. Them two right there. Well, the rest of my little clan that I got, but those two are the most important thing to me. God knows if somebody put their hands on them, y'all gonna see me on what's the news here? Y'all see me on, and y'all gonna be like, yep, somebody done touch one of his pretty girls. That's why he. Come on, making somebody a martyr right here. I know I'll say it on video. I ain't what I look. I've already told y'all and made y'all understand. And if you as a man don't understand what I'm about to say, then go read your Bible. This is just how I see it. I'm not telling any other man that you need to see things this way. But once I started reading my Bible and I started understanding what God expects of me as a man, that's when my life totally turned around, because I wasn't a good person. I'll tell you that. I've said that over and over and over on this thing. But once I got into that Bible and I really started reading it and I really started understanding it, and I started understanding as a man what I'm supposed to be, totally turned my life around. Here's what I realized. I realized as a man, God prepared me for everything that I'm about to go through in life. Did he not? He took Adam and put him in the garden for what? To work it, to learn, to understand, to be able to take care. He gave him animals, just like if you had a dog. You got to take care of that dog. You got to love that dog. You got to treat. Adam did the same thing with all of the animals, even snakes. But he was preparing Adam to receive the greatest gift that God could give other than life. Hold on now. But he was preparing Adam to receive the greatest gift that any man could ever have. That's a woman. That's a woman. As a man, you are prepared that the day that God gives you your wife, your woman, because now the things that you have learned to be able to love her, to cherish her, to take care of her, to honor her, God has already put that inside of each and every one of us. Because see, that gift God gave you can also give you gifts in children. Your job as a man is to take care of those gifts that God gave you. That's your job. Your job is to get your ass up, go to work, bust it, come home, and love on the gifts that God gave you. You're to teach the gifts God gave you. I am my wife's spiritual warrior. When we do our Bible study, I'm leading the Bible study. I'm teaching her about the Bible. I was my kids' spiritual warrior. When they sat down at the table and we went over the Bible and I taught them things, that is what we are supposed to do as men. And if you're not doing that, you have failed yourself. Period. Read your Bible. When you open your Bible and you start reading, read what God, I want you to read. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to read where God put Adam in the garden. Why? What was God preparing Adam to do when he put him in? And think about it, man. Sit there. See, sometimes what we do, and I did this. Hold on. Let me back up, because I know a lot of times people get mad and go, "Well, that's not everybody, Rev." Okay, all right, fine, got you. The way I learned to get into the Bible was a guy that was in my theology class, right? So I have a bachelor's degree, and a guy in my class taught me this. He taught me how to not only meditate, but really get inside. So I read my Bible and then I meditate. But I'm also thinking about what I read in that Bible, right? So I take my 20 minutes, and then once I come out of that, I'm able to understand the Bible a lot more. Understand what words God has put down for me to understand. So, you no matter what you do, whether you're meditating on the Bible or just, please, I'm telling you all right now, try this. Get tonight or tomorrow. Take your phone, set it to 10 minutes. I just want you to just go to a quiet place. Go somewhere where the kids are not going to bother you. Go somewhere where your wife is not going to bother you. And for 10 minutes, think about your duty as a man. I'm just asking for 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, think about your duty as a man. Seriously. Do that every single day or every single night. Just think about your duties as a man. Talking about something, I'm just telling you what changed me. I started with 10 minutes and went to 20 minutes. My duty as a man. Again, I can get my wife that just left here, I can get her down here right now. She'll tell you. I wasn't worth 2 cents. I was not. That was one of the reasons why she came back to Minnesota. And I ended up getting on a Greyhound bus and following her to Minnesota because of who I was at the time. She's like, I'm not going to be around this dude. I'm not doing it with him. She came here to Minnesota. And I ended up getting on a bus, 4-day journey here to Minnesota. That's how I ended up in Minnesota. I could have been anywhere. I could have went back to North Carolina. I could have went home to Memphis, Tennessee. But because I screwed up, I could have even stayed out in California. But because I screwed up, and she was like, not having it, I'm out, peace. We wasn't married then. We was just boyfriend and girlfriend dating in Anaheim, California. She's like, peace. And I was like, oh, my goodness. I just let my life go. 38 years later, here we are. And that little one, the little one, like I said, that's the newest to my little clan. That's my Mila. But anyway, I'm just saying, men, seriously, man, try it. Just give it a shot. If it doesn't work for you, okay, at least you gave it a shot, right? At least you gave it a shot. But what I was gonna say about, the black fatigue thing and people wondering where black people are. So Obama was going to go to Virginia, right? And stump for the white lady. And all of the right wingers start putting this out, talking about, oh, well, he's a hypocrite, right? I can't believe Obama won't go to Virginia and stump for the black lady. See, what they don't tell you is the black lady kicked herself in the butt. The black lady messed up on her own. See, so what the black lady did is just like my like I said, I got I got people in Virginia that I talked to, especially when she was running for lieutenant governor. And I was like, well, what's going on? And it was like, yeah, black people are getting behind her. That's how she won. Black people got behind her. That's how she became lieutenant governor. So she gets in there at lieutenant governor, and then she went full mega. She started running off at the mouth about black folks. And I'm talking about true black people. Now, I know y'all sitting there going, but wait a minute, Rev, isn't she black? She's not American black. She's not a foundational black person, black America. She's not a African-American descendant of slaves. She's Jamaican. She just happened to have dark skin. That's the only difference. So y'all wake up, and just because everybody look like me, y'all think it's black. Y'all think it's black American. No. See, there's a difference. And the reason, and you say, well, why should there? Well, same thing is when people sit there and go, I'm not white, I'm Jewish. Right? See, what happened was when all of these immigrants start coming over here to the United States, the white liberals decided to take the immigrants and put them under the category as, like, say, black. So they were able to take resources from the black community. That's what they did. The Somalians, they didn't take the Somalians and put them out in Maple Grove, did they? They didn't take them and put them in Elk River, did they? They didn't take them at the time and put them out in Burnsville, did they? Where did they put them? In the black community. And what did the Somalian community do? Take resources from the black community. So that's why when you hear me say, oh no, they ain't black, that's why I'm saying it. Because when they hit you with this POC, y'all heard that, right? People of color, BIPOC, there's a reason they do this crap. Because they're taking resources from black Americans who need those resources. So the very little bit of resources that we do get for our community, We got to split it with them. That's why it's important for you as white people to understand why this lady in Virginia is not a African American black. That's why black folks are not rolling with her right now. Because she decided to go full mega on black folks. When she stepped out of bounds and started saying, we don't need reparations. Oh, she cut herself in half. And then she decided to cut herself completely down the middle when she told us to get over slavery. Not only that, she decided, well, if Tim Scott can be a buffoon, an idiot, the worst of the worst, and sit on national TV and sit there and say, oh, well, there is no racism. America is not a racist place. Really? Go ask the young Republicans. They answered that question for us. But Tim Scott said that. The buffoon. I call him a coon, but I don't like using the word coon. He's a house Negro. Same thing as Malcolm X. If you don't know what a house Negro is, go type in Malcolm X, then type in house Negro and listen to how Malcolm X explained what a house Negro is. That's Tim Scott. That's why black folks don't mess with Tim Scott. Because, see, black, like me, I'm out in the fields. My hands would be dirty. Tim Scott would be in the house talking about, yes, a massa. This black lady from the Jamaican, from Virginia, who's running for governor, she would be in the house being a mammy. Those are house Negroes. We don't mess with those Negroes. So once she said that there is no racism in America, she was done. Black people cut her completely off. She used black people to get in office, and now she going to stomp on them? It's like the Candace Owens. Y'all mad at Candace. Right now, Candace is your worst nightmare. But when she was black people's worst nightmare, y'all was loving Candace. Y'all made Candace Owens rich. You know, you did. I can tell you that for a fact. I showed you the picture of me standing right in front of Candace Owens, handed her my card. I was in the same room with Candace Owens. I listened to Candace Owens, and I watched a bunch of white people act like this was Santa Claus. Y'all was mesmerized of this black woman, sitting there stomping down on the black community. And I walked up to her after that, and I said, the very community that you just pissed on, I'm going to give you my card, and I want you to come back here to Minneapolis and walk the streets with me so you can talk to the very people you were pissing on for these white people. Exactly word for word what I said to Candace Owens. And I handed her my card. And I ain't never heard from this girl ever again, even though she's been back here to Minneapolis. But y'all made Candace Owens. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I told y'all I was going to piss some people off tonight. Y'all did, and you know you did. As long as she was pissing on black people, y'all was loving this girl. You was giving this girl money over fit. You couldn't wait to send her money. She made you so hot and creamy when she was talking about black people. But now she's talking about, boy, I'm loving Candace Owens right now. I'm going to start tweeting her stuff. I'm loving her. I love Candace Owens. Yes, I do. Yes, I know people be gonna, I'll never hear you say that because she pissing y'all off. Candace got y'all in a bunch right now. Oh my God. Don't feel too good, do it. Exactly the way she got you feeling now is exactly how we felt when she said Ahmaud Arbery basically deserved what he got for running down the street. Y'all made Candace Owens. So the NAACP is backing this white woman in Virginia. All black. Go check the stats, the polls on the black vote to this white woman. This white woman is at I think at like 90% of the black vote right now over the black woman, because a black woman decided to piss on the black community. That's exactly what happened. But the right wingers want to sit here and go, well, look at Obama. Well, I guess Obama isn't. Well, if Obama's going to go to Virginia to stump for this white woman, I guess he ain't as racist as y'all called him, right? Because that's what you said. I guess he don't hate white people like you say he hate white people. He's going to stump for a white woman over a black woman. Let's make it. And it's funny to me how all of a sudden white people now, when you're talking about Obama going to Virginia, all of a sudden y'all see color. Oh my God. It's a miracle. No, it's a miracle. It's almost like we lowered you down and Jesus saw your faith and he told you to rise and you got up. It's almost like when Jesus went and spit in the mud and made mud and rubbed it on y'all eyes, and all of a sudden y'all can see color now. Y'all crack me up. Y'all crack me up. Y'all funny. Y'all funny. But Obama's going to Virginia. Obama's going to be she don't even need Obama to come in. Because like I said, she got like 90% of the black vote before Obama came to town. Obama's going to come to town, and even though white people hate it, because I told y'all earlier today, I said it point blank, white people, Obama broke the white community in ways we will never, ever recover. Y'all will never recover from that. Ever. He broke y'all. But regardless of some of these here black so-called influencers, right wing influencers who are black, Obama still have pull. But Obama will always have pull. You know why? Because Obama will always be black people's president. He will always be. Now, again, I didn't vote for him the second time because he pissed me off. When he came in with this crap talking about I evolved. No, you didn't evolve. You just lied. Hold on. You lied. And then when they made him disavow Reverend Wright, no, you will never. My preacher preach same thing Reverend Wright preaches. There's no way in the world I will ever do it. They be like, but you can be president, Tim. No. It's God over everything with me. It's God over everything with me. No, you're not. No, that's just not going to happen. So Obama pissed me off. All right. But he's still my president. And any black person pretty much, other than, these silly right wing black people who are saying stupid stuff because they know white people will pay them. That cracks me up. If y'all think these right wing black people believe the crap that they say, y'all out. You're silly. You're stupid. This is a cash grab. I told you. Listen to what I'm saying. I was offered a nice chunk of change when I first came on the scene, because everybody thought because of what I said in that video I did. There's a video that came out of me and it went viral, and because some of the things that I said in that video, people thought I was Republican. Because And that's why people jumped on, was like, oh my God, there's a black man speaking our language. No, I wasn't speaking your language. I was speaking nobody's language but my own. But they literally offered me a bag. Only thing I had to do was agree with what they were saying. I kid you not. I have no reason to sit here and lie to anybody. I could have been on a radio. But in order for me to be on there, I pretty much would have to kick down on people who look like me. I kid you not. Yeah, I could have easily sat there with a mic in my face and been at a radio station over in St. Paul making a pretty good penny just to sit there for 3 hours and to say, oh, black men are not fathers. There's no black fathers in the home. That's why the crime rate of the black people are so high. And black people, oh, these mothers that are on welfare, that's why their kids are so bad. I could have got paid for doing just that. See how well I did that? I could have got paid for that. That's all I had to do. I have a soul. And that soul can't be bought. And no matter what you offer me, I have to sleep at night. The God that I pray to, nowhere in the Bible does it tells me to make money that way. The oppressed is what I help. The poor is what I help. I'm not going to beat down on them to put money in my pocket. Just wasn't going to happen. So I was like, I'm good, man. This little thing that I got here, this little setup that I barely know how to run, that I got here, I'm good. I won't be bought, and you're not going to tell me what to say. You're not going to tell me what I can't say. You're not going to tell me when I can say it or it's just not going to happen. But these black right-wing influencers y'all love so much. If y'all think they believe half the crap that they say, you're out your mind. They say the crap because they know they can get paid. Y'all will pay white folks. Why brush tonight? Because this is true. Again, Candace Owens. Look at Brandon Tatum. Y'all put money in Brandon Tatum's pocket. Candace Owens. You put money in Candace Owens' pocket. And on down the line. Yes, you did. Say you didn't. Say you didn't. No, go ahead. Say your people didn't. Who made Candace Owens? Wasn't us. Wasn't black folks. So I just couldn't do it. I really could not do it. Really could not do it. I could not do it. And like I said, it would only been for 3 hours. 3 hours a day to sit here and do this here. I could do this. I could sit here and do this here for 5-6 hours. But that's all I needed to do for 3 hours a day. But I had to tell you all that black people were bad. That black mothers were irresponsible. Black fathers were absent. Black children are the predators. The black community is so screwed up. That's what I had to say. I couldn't tell you that one of the reasons why you have black people shooting each other, black kids shooting each other, is because we have rich white kids coming into the community buying dope. Correct? Hello. They didn't want me to tell you that part. They didn't want me to tell you that the white men that come into the community looking for black women for prostitution. Hello? They didn't want to talk about the drug problems that you have out in the rural area. Hello? We didn't want to talk about meth. See, I couldn't talk about that stuff because that's not what y'all want to hear. Couldn't talk about the high suicide rates among white kids. All the pettios in the white community. We didn't want to talk about that. Because that's not what you wanted to hear. That's not what you wanted to pay for. Am I wrong? Like I said, anytime, look, I've always said, and I'll say it again, anytime y'all think that I said something wrong, I will give you my website, and you can be right there next to me, and we can have this conversation. Anything tonight I said was wrong, we can have this conversation. But we get it both ways. We get it from the young Republicans and the racist things that they said. I talked about last night how Charlie Kirk said that black women were taking white people's jobs. And I asked this here kid a couple of days ago, what's a white man's job? What job should be protected? Tell me the jobs that Charlie Kirk was talking about, because that's what he said. No, that's what he said. But tell me these jobs that should be protected for just white men. If black women are taking those jobs, as he said, what job should be protected? What is white men so privileged? Here we go. Why are they so privileged that they have jobs only they should be able to do, only they can do? And somebody, please, if you can, name me one of those white jobs Charlie Kirk was talking about. My plan when I come on here is to make you think. Just stop for 5 seconds, meditate, and see something different. That's what Jesus did. That's what he did. He met this lady at the well, and he told this lady a story. And when this lady left this well, she was different. She thought different. She felt different. She understood different. I don't say the things that I say to piss anybody off. That's not what this is about. But I say certain things for you to go, I never thought it that way. So again, I ask people, name the job that Charlie Kirk said that black women or black people took from white men. Name me those jobs that only white men are privileged enough to have it, and that job to be protected under a white class. Please name that job, because nobody has ever been able to name that job. Just saying. Just saying. But like I said, we get it both ways. So Tim Walz, the governor here in Minnesota, and the Democrats never really, so here's the thing. And let me make sure y'all understand something too. And here's another thing that a lot of white people like to do all the time. Well, black folks, they only vote for the Democrats. Yeah. Yeah. Because right now in Louisiana, the Republican Party is trying to make sure black folks can't vote. Right now in the state of North Carolina, where my mom and my dad is, the Republican Party is trying to make sure that black people can't vote. In Fayetteville, North Carolina, where my mom and dad lives right down the street from what is now again Fort Bragg, the Republicans made sure they put that racist man name back on that base. Correct? I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. And black people sit there and go, wow, man, they really showing us who we are. Right now, Donald Trump is saying, I don't want certain things taught in a black museum. The Republicans are doing this. Right now, Stephen Miller, who is probably the worst of the worst to be in that White House, is swearing up in God that we are a Christian nationalist. We're not. We were never built. I don't care what they try to teach you. Show me what the founding fathers, show me anywhere where the founding fathers says, open up the Bible and we're going to build this country on that book. Show me. It never happened, regardless of what they want you to believe. It never happened. There is nowhere in my theology class that anybody ever say that, anybody ever teach that, anything of that ever came. I've never researched any story, any word, never. Berean Missionary Baptist Church is my church. The word Berean means seek. That's what we do. We find words and we seek the meaning of that word, and we break that word down to its lowest form, and then we speak on that. At no point in time did the Constitution So when they sit there and act like we are not a Christian nation. We can't be, because there's so many religions in this here United States of America. We will never be just a Christian nation. That's why we're not. Because we're a melting pot. The main religion, yes, is Christianity. It is. And it should be. And I believe that it should be. That's the gospel, period, point blank. Nothing else. But again, we get it from both sides, right? So watch this here. So Tim Walz and Gabby Gifford. So Gabby Gifford has, that I know of. Now, she could have been here twice. So Gabby Gifford comes into Minnesota with somebody's here talking about guns and how to, take guns away from, everyday law-abiding citizens. That's what this is about. They going after the white man. They ain't dealing with black people. But Kathy Gifford comes to town twice. She's been to town. And every time Kathy Gifford comes to town, she gets in a room full of white people. Exactly what I said today. Yes, she do. She came to town one time. She was out in Bloomington, right outside Minneapolis, but they trying to fool me to try to act like they were in Minneapolis. They wasn't. They were in Bloomington. So she fills a room full of white men talking about gun violence. Hold on. So she fills a room full of white men talking about gun violence in Minneapolis. Did you hear what I just said? So then she comes again. And Tim Walz take her all the way to Waconia, Minnesota. Probably one of the whitest areas in Minnesota. It don't get as white as Minnesota. You ask whiteness in Minnesota, you open up a book, and it's Waconia. So they go all the way out to Waconia, and it's invite only. Hold on. Let me make sure you understand what I just said. It's invite only. And they talk about gun violence. But guess what gun violence they don't talk about? The very gun violence that's probably happening down there right now. Right now, somebody on Penn and 36 probably got a gun and looking for somebody. Right now. Right now, somebody on 26 in Morgan probably got a gun. Right now, somebody on 14th. Right now, somebody on Blaisdell. Right now, somebody on Broadway. Right now, somebody on Lindale. Right now, somebody on Lindale Avenue. Right now, somebody on Pillsbury. Right now, somebody on Chicago. Right now, somebody in George Flash Square. But you don't talk about that. That's not what Tim Walz took Gabby all the way out to Waconia to talk about. Because they don't give a damn about black people. If y'all think Tim Walz and these white liberals care about they don't give a damn about black people. But because the Republicans, they do their stupid crap, black people ain't got no place to go. So we hang out with the Democrats, because every now and then they spoon feed us something. No, that's exactly what happens, people. And I dare a black person to come on here right now and try to say I'm wrong. I dare you. I double dog dare you right now. You won't, because you know what I'm saying is right. Only thing that the Democrats do in Hennepin County is say, Donald Trump, bad man. Tim Walz said it himself. If y'all don't know what Tim Walz said, Tim Walz sent out a signal, a bat signal. He said, he didn't say I'm running against, watch this. He didn't say I'm running against a Republican. That's not what Tim Walz said. Tim Walz didn't say he's running against name blah, 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 the opponent. That's not what Tim Walz said. Tim Walz went over. He's not even worried about. Here's what Tim Walz is. Tim Walz could care less about any of these Republicans that are running against him right now. They're all every single day. Every single one of these Republicans, who they talk about every day. Who do they talk about? No. Walk this with me. Who do they talk about every day? Tim Walz. That's all they do. That's all they do. Tim Walz this and Tim Walz that and Tim Walz this. Every Republican that is running in this race to be governor, go to their page. Every single one of them. Tim Walz, Tim Walz, Tim Walz, Tim Walz, Tim Walz. You know what Tim Walz did? He didn't say nobody name. He didn't say Kristen Robinson. He didn't say Parrish. He didn't say Brad Kohler. He didn't say Scott. He didn't say Kendall. He didn't say none of them. He said Donald Trump. He said, I'm running against Donald Trump. So inside of Hennepin County, inside of Duluth, inside of Rochester, inside of St. Cloud, everybody's sitting there going, Donald Trump bad. Why? Because our governor said so. We don't care about, they don't even know. Half the people who are running, half the people out there right now in the areas that I told you couldn't tell you who was running for governor as far as Republicans go. Couldn't. But they know Donald Trump. Tim Walz, whether you like him or not, is one of the smartest men that I've ever, you can call him dumb if you want. Watch this. This right here is when I knew Tim Walz was a smart man. This is when I knew it. Watch this here. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, you'll figure this out. You're going to get it. So when he was running against Scott Jensen, one of the things that I told Scott, because Scott and I, we talked, he'll tell you, call him up. Scott and I talked all the time. What are we going to do? How are we going to tackle Hennepin County? That was our big thing, right? Matt Burke and I got in my car. Matt got out of his car, got in my car. We drove around Hennepin County for hours, strategizing. How are we going to get them into Hennepin County? Because they didn't want to go. They did not want to go to Hennepin County, and I'm going to tell you why here in a second. So that was the thing that we were trying to figure out. How do we get these Republicans into Hennepin County? Couldn't figure it out. So Scott just decided to back off. Basically, we got him into Laverne Turner. And I even got the pictures. I can show you the pictures and everything. So we all ended up going to this place over in northeast Minneapolis. That was as closest to inside Hennepin County we could get Scott Jensen at the time. I told Scott, and I told Matt Burke, just get a damn mic and a little speaker like I got when I go out and I'm preaching to the homeless. And just go in it. Just go, man. You don't have to have permission to go into Hennepin County. They just would not do it. They would not do it. I could not. It was like the guy who was running against the guy who was running against Keith Ellison. He came to my church, and I sat him down. And I said, Schultz, you got to come into Hennepin County, man. I said, you got to make an appearance. I said, let's put something together, blah, blah, blah. He wouldn't come into Hennepin County. Look it up. Look, you can look this up yourself. They would not come in. And I asked somebody, I go, what is it, man? And they say, the base. He said the base do not want their money, the Republican, to spend their money in Hennepin County. Watch this. So Scott thought that he could use the debate once they got inside of Hennepin County as his way of getting for the people of Hennepin County to hear his voice. That's what Scott thought was going to happen. This is how smart Tim Walz is. Tim Walz refused to debate him in Hennepin County. That is checkmate. I knew right then and there, the minute he did that, there's no way in hell Scott Jensen was going to win. That I sat back in my chair. When I heard that happen, we going bye-bye? Papa get a kiss? Papa have a kiss?
Hi.
Say hi to everybody.
Everybody.
Hi, everybody. Papa have a kiss? Thank you. You gonna go bye-bye?
Papa.
Yeah. Go bye-bye. Papa see you soon? Lights. Yeah. Lights. Papa see you. Yeah, Papa see you soon. Well, thank you for coming over.
We'll see you Friday and go trick or treating.
Oh, Friday. Oh, you coming over Friday? A ball? Yeah, that's a microphone. 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 Yeah, Papa miss you. Papa loves you very, very much. Yeah. Okay. So you got to go bye-bye. You got to go see your mommy.
Okay, come on.
Mommy.
Yeah. All right. Say bye-bye.
Tell everybody bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Love
Can
you.
you blow kisses?
Mm,
Yeah. Mwah.
thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Uh-oh. Papa don't know what that one was.
No, we're gonna
No, you don't get a toy.
gotta go bye-bye.
You got to go bye-bye. Go see your mommy. Yeah. We'll see you on Friday. Friday. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. Love you back. Oh, all right. Yeah, that one get my heart. That's what get my that's what's important. Like I said, that's what's important to me. But sorry about that. But I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna let y'all go because I'm 17 minutes over. But watch this here. So Tim Walz decided not to debate him in Hennepin County. That's when I knew Scott Jensen had lost the race. I knew right then and there. I said, that is, man, is that not one of the smartest moves ever? Because Tim Walz knew Scott Jensen was not coming into Hennepin County. He was not going to campaign in Hennepin County. He was not going to run ads in Hennepin County. He wasn't even going to drop leaflets in Hennepin County. He knew that. He knew that. But Scott Jensen was like, well, I'll just wait for the debates. I don't need to go into Hennepin County. And Tim Walz was like, psych, you ain't getting a debate. And nobody in Hennepin County heard Scott Jensen's message. You listen, you can hate Tim Walz all you want. You can hate him all you, but if that wasn't a checkmate move, I don't know what is. That was the smooth. I said right then and there, that's a smart man. To sit back and sit there and go, I know how to stop my opponent because my opponent won't even go talk to black folks. My opponent, listen to me, my opponent, a Republican, won't even go talk to black folks. The very people that if he would have been governor, he would have been governing over black people, and he wouldn't give black people the time of day. That's a true story, man. That is a true story. So only thing the Democrats have to do to these black folks, these Negroes here in Minneapolis, is say Trump bad. And the vote is done with. So Tim Walz goes out here to Waconia, talks to all these white folks. And he's talking to these white folks because little white kids that this man shot in a school. Which, to me, I don't understand how people can sit back and not in their heart. And I understand what Tim Walz and everybody else wants to do. I think there's a better way for us to do this versus banning things and taking things. There is a better way for us to make sure that these little white kids are not getting shot. Correct? And I think we all agree on that. I think we all can sit here and agree and say that we don't ever want anybody kids shot. Correct? But I look at it two ways. I look at it from the side of the people who sit here and say we want to protect your guns. They show no emotion towards these kids when they're getting shot and killed, other than thoughts and prayers. Correct? No, true. They have zero emotions with all these kids getting. They don't. You can say what you want. I'm just telling you. I'm on both sides. I see the side. I'm a Second Amendment advocate. I believe in the Second Amendment. I fought for the Second Amendment. I talk about the Second Amendment. And I've stood there and I watched these people, when they're talking about these kids that are getting shot. I've been to the rallies. There is no emotion. Let's be real. And then you got this here other side. The people who want to ban everything. They realize how much emotion is on this side. And they realize how they can use all of this emotion that's on this side for their good. If Tim Walz really cared about black kids, he could do one thing here in Minnesota right now. He can say that if any black kid get caught with a gun, we're going to put you in prison for a couple of years. Watch this. And then he can also say, and if that gun has this little clip on the back of it called a switch, that's automatically 20 years in prison. Automatically. There is no talking down. There is no, I don't care how old you are. 11 years old, you got a switch on the back of that gun, you're gone for 20 years. I don't care. Maximum prison. Nope. They'd be like, well, we can send this kid to juvie until he turned 18. If Tim Walz really cared about black folks dying, black kids shooting each other, that's what he would do. That's what I would do. Oh, Rev, that's too extreme. Rev, are you crazy? You're out of your mind. You just want to lock up people for the rest of their lives. No, I don't want to lock anybody up. I don't ever want to lock up anybody. But here's my thought of it. How else am I going to get you not to do a crime? How else am I going to get you not to shoot a gun that you can't handle? A 40, listen to me. A 40 with somebody holding it like this and not like this, and it's got a switch. Think about a 40. If you ever shot a 40 millimeter, if you haven't, I suggest you go out and shoot a 40 millimeter. And then what I want you to do is, as fast as you can pull the trigger, I want you to pull that trigger, and I want you to hold that 40 with one hand. You understand? I want you to hold that with one hand and just keep pulling the trigger and see how well you can control that. Now, you take a kid, arms about that big around, and you put a 40 in his hand, and then you put a switch on the back of that 40. Rounds are going everywhere. Now, you got a little boy sitting in his living room playing his video game because he just finished his homework, because he's studying, because he wants to be a doctor. He wants to be a cop. He wants to get out of the city, and he knows studying is going to get him there. And this kid is shot in the head, and he dies. And that kid's life is ended. If I have to trade either ending this kid's life or putting this kid away for 20 years, it'll be the 20 years. It'll be the 20 years. You understand what I'm saying? It'll be the 20 years. So if Tim Walz and the Democrats really cared about black people, really cared about these kids dying in the streets over corners where they're selling drugs to these little white kids who are coming in from the suburbs, because that's what's happening. If he really, really cared about these kids, he would open up facilities out in the suburbs so we can get these kids, these white kids who are coming down there for the meth, who are coming down there for the fentanyl, who are buying this here drugs from the black kids. And these black kids are fighting over these corners because these are hot corners and they can make a lot of money. Most of the shooting you hear in the black community is two people fighting over an area. It's a group fighting over an area. It's a gang fighting over an area that makes a lot of money. And who fuels those areas? Hello? Hello? I mean, like I said, you come here, we're going to have the talks. It may be uncomfortable. I know that because we don't like talking about white suburbia, do we? No. But we love talking about black urban. So if Tim Walz really cared about black people, he would help those white kids out in suburbia. He would put facilities out there so mom and dad can take them to get clean, to get help. But these Democrats could give jack about black people in Minnesota. As long as we show up at the booths and as long as we vote. That's it. That's it. They'll still spoon feed us. They'll give us enough to get by. If they cared about Minnesota, they would fix Broadway up so some of these little black kids could have jobs like they do out in Arbor Lakes. Anytime my wife and I go out in Arbor Lakes, I always look around wherever we go, right? If people haven't been here in Minnesota, Arbor Lakes is out in the white area. It's in Maple Grove. It's an area out there where they got restaurants, they got food, they got places you can go shop. It's awesome. It is. I'm not knocking it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Arbor Lakes at all. At all. I'm glad there's an Arbor Lakes out there because I can go to Arbor Lakes and I don't take my firearm. Number one, I don't take my firearms because I don't want to be printing and then some white woman, black man with a gun, especially out in Lily White, Maple Grove. Can you imagine if I'm printing out in Maple Grove and a white woman calls on the phone, there's a black man sitting next to me and he has a gun. Or if my shirt flips up, he has a gun. What do you think? Honestly, what do you think would happen? I wouldn't probably make it out of that damn restaurant because there's going to be so many, there's going to be so many cops on the outside of that restaurant. So Maple Grove, when I go to Maple Grove, I don't take my firearm. I don't. Because I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. But Tim Walz proved to me, Gifford proved to me that the black deaths that they see every day is not important. It's not important. They don't care. And the Democrats realized and said, only thing we have to do is we keep these here black folks scared of Republicans. And who's the biggest boogeyman right now? Donald Trump. That's the boogeyman in the black community. That's like at night when the night rider. Donald Trump is like at night when the night riders show up back in the day. And they got the pointy hat on and the white ghost looking thing on. You know what I'm talking about. And as long as the Democrats can keep making the black folks believe that Donald Trump is the worst thing that ever happened to them in life, Tim Walz know he don't have to worry about the vote. That's why Tim Walz can take Gifford and take her all the way out to Lily White Waconia, and nobody pretty much says a word. Nobody in the black church who has failed the black community to no end here in Minnesota. The black church in Minnesota have failed the community like you would not believe. Saying that about, well, black church, well, Rev, are you at a black church? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But even my tongue and my theology has changed now. My tongue and my theology has changed now. So I don't know how it's going to come across with my pastor if I keep doing what I'm doing. I don't know. Because, see, what you got to understand when it comes to the black church, and I'm just going to talk about the black church right here in Minnesota. Back in the day when the slave owners made sure that they had one black that could read, and that one black were told to preach a certain sermon. And always those certain sermons were obey your master. Don't preach anything else. And all the other slaves, the master wouldn't let learn how to read. So you had one slave that controlled everybody else. The black church is like that today. It is. The pastor is the only one that can read. And they got this thing, the Democrats got this thing called the 5013C. And if you get out of line, pastor, and you don't read to your people what I'm telling you to read, we're going to take that 5013C. So it's like slavery today. And black churches don't get out of line because they don't want the Democrats to come in and take their 5013C. So even when you think slavery is over with, it actually is not over with. Because the Democrats are still in control of black folks. Think about what I said. They control us through the church. Tim Walz, there's only 2 churches that I know of. And he may go to some other, but 2 black churches that I know that Tim Walz go to. And those 2 black churches gets a lot of money from the state. A lot of money. And them 2 black churches ain't done a damn thing. But yet every year, $1 million here, 500,000 here. And these 2 black churches are pretty much the largest churches in Minneapolis. So those pastors control a lot of field Negroes. So that pastor can put anything out there he wants. That's a lot of votes in just those 2 churches. Tim Walz ain't never been to my church. Have invited him, have put it out here, ain't never. But he can't come to me because Tim Walz know he can't buy me. This Negro cannot be bought. I can't be bought by the Republicans. They tried it. I told you earlier tonight. I had an opportunity to be just like Candace Owens. Maybe not as big, but I would have got paid for stumping down on my black people. So the Republicans can't buy me. The Democrats can't buy me. Because I refuse to give up my gun and stop fighting for my gun. I refuse to stop talking about black folks being a slave to the Democrats with this 5013C hanging over. I refuse to do all of that. That's why people get mad at me, because they can't figure out what I am. Well, Rev, if you dump on the Republicans and you dump on the Democrats, then what could you be? I'm a child of God. That's what I am. My grandfather died a conservative because he believed in what the conservative party's line was. He believed that. He died believing that the Republican Party was his party. He died. He was Republican. He never, when everybody, all the other black folks down in Memphis, of all places, down in Memphis, Tennessee, said they were not going to vote for Richard Nixon. My grandfather, black man, stood on principle and stayed with the Republican Party, and he voted for Richard Nixon. He died a Republican because he believed in the Republican that much, that one day that the very party that our people helped start it. That's the thing. Black folks helped start the Republican Party, did we not? My grandfather believed that that party was going to do and be exactly what it said it was going to do and it was going to be. And here we are in 2025, and we got these so-called young Republicans showing us what we already knew. We knew how Republicans felt about black folks. It was never a secret. We just needed somebody to open the door so everybody knew. It wasn't just black folks saying it. Well, white folks knew it. They just didn't want to say it. Y'all knew. You knew exactly how a Republican felt about black people. You knew. See, I learned during the Tea Party. When I went over there and joined the Tea Party right here in Minnesota, being proud, finally got some people that's ready to go out, ready to fight, ready to do this thing. Yeah, here I come. Tea Party, conservative Tea Party, and then at the end when the Tea Party started breaking up, and then when they got racist, yeah, they did. Y'all know they did. That's when I started. That's when I said, I will never back a party ever again. Ever. Ever. I will vote. I will vote on my conscience, and I will vote on my issues. You got an issue that I'm dealing with, and you say you can work with that issue, more than likely you're going to get my vote. More than likely, you're going to get my vote. Whether you're a Democrat, because I voted. I mean, I voted. I'm old enough that I voted for Ronald Reagan. I didn't vote for Bush because I didn't vote for what? I didn't vote for Bush. I hated Reagan because of the crack cocaine and him selling crack to the black community. Right? So I let him go. Wasn't going to deal with him anymore. Wasn't going to vote for him anymore. Whatever, dude. George W. Bush, when he put out that racist Willie Horton ad, can't vote for you. Can't vote for you. But I didn't vote for Obama the second time because, you know, he evolved and all that stuff. So the second time I didn't vote for him, I was going for his opponent. That's when that's when I went back over to the Republican side and started stomping for who he was running against. But I'm not carrying a bucket for the Republicans, and I won't carry the bucket for a Democrat. My issues today are men being able to go into girls' bathrooms, boys that are on girls' sports, men who are in women. In other words, anything that a man invades a woman's space, that's my issue with you. If you're a party that is for that, I am against you. Socialism. I am against socialism. Banning things, whether it's books or whether it's guns, I'm against that. Those are my issues that I'm having right now. I have more, but those are just a few of them that I have. But I know who the Democratic Party is. I've always known who the Democrats are. And just because 99.9% of the times, or 97 or 91, black folks vote for them, that doesn't mean they're not racist. Just because Democrats call themselves fighting for DEI and equity and all this, that doesn't mean they're not racist. The master raped black women. Just because he had sex with them, that doesn't mean he's not racist. But y'all could see the Democrats here in Minnesota, the racist actions that the Democrats pull. And the sad part about that is the Republicans are just sitting back going, we don't know what to do. And instead of them dealing with a competent black man, they would rather go off and get them two of the biggest dummies in the state of Minnesota. Because, see, they can stick their hand up these fools' asses and make these fools say whatever they want to say. I'm just saying. Anyway, fam, I think I hit everything except for one thing real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. Because some people has been, I guess they've been trying to figure out, like I said, why I am behind and why I'm fighting for Mayor Fry. Again, I'm going to say it point blank. If this idiot gets his hands on this city, it's over. It is flat over. You can say what you want, you can believe what you want, but I'm telling you right now, if this idiot gets his hands on this, so Mayor Fry is the guy right now. Mayor Fry is the stopgap to these socialist assholes, these low down, dirty, scummy scumbags. Socialism will not work. Socialism will hurt black people who we are working as hard as we possibly can to get off of welfare, to get in a better place. Socialism will not bring jobs anywhere near Broadway for a single mother. Will not do it. If anything, socialism is going to make sure that black people stay in their place. It's going to make it easier for black people to stay in their place. I'm not having it. Not the next generation. I want black police. I want black doctors. I want black carpenters. I want black kids that can work on small engines. That's not what socialism does. That's not going to happen. I want little entrepreneurs, just like we got down there in St. Paul right now. Oh, yeah, we're going to have another youth entrepreneur day also, too, where they go out and they sell all of their products at the mall. I'm going to let you know about that. But socialism is the worst thing for the black community ever. Ever. So when you ask me why am I behind Mayor Fry, I'm behind socialism. I'm hating socialism. I'm kicking socialism in the ass. I'm cutting socialism up. I'm blowing socialism up with a stick of dynamite. That's why I'm behind Fry. I don't want to see Minnesota. See, here's the thing. I can leave. I can go home. I can go right down south and be just as happy. Matter of fact, I can go to South Carolina, Charleston. That's where my wife and I go every year for vacation for a week. Charleston, South Carolina, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to be. I can leave here. I'm not from here. Only thing I got, but you see what I had in my arms, right? The little one that one? I can't leave that. I can't leave that one. So I got to stay here. So if I got to stay here because of my little granddaughter, the one y'all saw, I got to fight. Because when I leave here, my grandkids are going to go, you know what? Psst, there's the rest of these assholes that let Minnesota go down. My papa busted his butt. My papa was in the beauty shops. He was in the barber shops. He was in the churches. He was at the stores. He was on the corners trying to get you people out to vote. He was in the meetings. He was at the community centers. That's what my papa was doing. So it's not that I like Fry. Not like I'm a big, woo, wait, yeah, Fry. It's not what it is. I know what socialism will do to that city. I know what the people who are behind this socialist move want to do to that city. And it's an ugly, ugly situation. It's an ugly situation. So if y'all don't understand, if y'all don't want to get in a fight, then get out of my way. Move. Because the only thing you're doing is holding me back. And if y'all like, if you're a socialist and you like socialism and all of that type of stuff, yay for you. But I'm not having it. So if I can get Fry back in the office for 4 more years, that's all we need. And then we work on somebody from that point on, which we already have somebody. So that's pretty much the plan. Skip, I've been to. We've had meetings after meetings after meetings on this. I've had black pastors screaming and yelling at each other. We have as black men come together, and that's what we're looking at. We need Fry for 4 years to get this young man ready for when it's time for him to run. We're going to run him. We already got the person. We know who he is. We know what we want to do. We just got to get Fry back in that seat. That's the plan. We're looking at the future. Not that we're not looking at 4 years. We're giving that up. We're willing to give up the 4 years and put Fry back into that seat. He is the stopgap. But after that, we are going forward with the future of downtown, changing it and making a difference. So we've got to get Fry back in. We've got to work on the person that we want. And then we got to knock off some of these people off of this city council because they nuts, crazy, ignorant ignoramuses. So we got to work on, that's what we got to do to get that city back. Look, Minneapolis can come back. We just need a group of people who believe in that Minneapolis and downtown Minneapolis can be, it's not going to be the greatest city like it was before, but we can make it as close to that as we possibly can. And we're going to start with the mayor. And then we're going to go to the city councils. And then we're going to go to the park boards. And then we're going to go to the people who in the streets. We have a plan, people. Trust me. All the meetings, all that, them hours, all that time that I've been putting this stuff together, it ain't been for naught. We have a plan. Trust me on this. Trust me. But anyway, fam, I'm way over my time. I've never been this far, have I? I don't think so. If I have, I'm calling good. But anyway, hey, I think we got everything. Gabby Gifford, we did the ranked choice voting, which is a lie, because so Dwayne Davis, there's no reason for this man to even be anywhere near this race. Because ain't nobody going to vote for him. Nobody's voting for Dwayne. Jazz is not ready. Jazz don't have what it takes to run this city. Everybody knows it. Nobody in the black community knows him. So those two are in this race right now to make sure that Fatah wins. That's the only reason Jazz and Dwayne is in this here race. And I guarantee you, if Fatah wins, Dwayne and Jazz is going to get some type of position in Fatah's administration. Want to bet? Want to bet? This is a coup, is what they've done. This is what they do in Somalia. They do stuff like this. This is their mindset. This is what, where else have you ever heard 3 people ganging up on one guy? This is what they do in third world countries. That's how they do it. It's like a coup. Somebody get their little general and they all get together and they go and whomever's in charge and we just go bash that. That's what this is. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing a modern day third world country coup going on in the state of Minnesota for the mayor's seat of Minneapolis. This is what these people do. This is their mindset. A mindset isn't to work with anybody. Their mindset is to demand, demolish, and to take over. That's their mindset. Their mindset is to conquer, divide, and rule. That's their mindset. Nobody would have come up with this here scheme except for Fatah, because this is his mindset. I want Dwayne and Jazz. We're all going to get on one ticket. And if you ever roll around Minneapolis, you would see, which blew me away, you would see them having all their names. You have never seen this. You have never seen this before in this state, where 3 candidates who are running for a position, all 3 of their names is on one of their signs saying who to rank 1, 2, and 3. That is happening here in the state of Minnesota. It's a coup. That's what you see is happening right here. They're willing, Dwayne and Jazz Hampton is willing to go in with Fatah to take out Fry. So Fatah can now become mayor. And now Fatah is going to give Dwayne and Hampton positions in his administration. You can't only in Minnesota, right? You can't make this up. You can't make this up. If they ain't stealing money, they're finding a way to rig elections. If they're not stealing money, they're finding ways to rig election. And the white liberal here in Minnesota is willing to give up everything to stay in power. They're willing to give up your state to stay in power. Here's the problem that the white liberal don't understand, because they have never done the research on these people. I have. These people are not about working with anybody. And what the white liberal don't understand is they have messed up. What are you going to do when the rabbit has the gun? The white liberal has messed up. And because the white liberal has screwed this state, the white liberal has screwed everybody else in this state. So what do? You say, Rev. The first thing we got to do, and I know how far we are, but if you got friends in Minneapolis, if you know somebody who knows somebody in Minneapolis, I'm begging you, tell them to rank Fry 1. Listen. If you, like I said, if you know somebody, if you see somebody, if you heard of somebody who can vote, you have to do this. If this dude gets his hands on that seat, it's over. You can sit there, and I'm gonna show you another reason why I say it's gonna be over. They're about to have a train. I'm gonna show you how stupid the people are in Eden Prairie. If you didn't learn from Bloomington and Burnsville with that train running out that way, y'all lost your mind. There's a train that's about to start running at Eden Prairie. Going to the Eden Prairie Mall and all that type of stuff. Mark my word, 2 years from now, they're going to be saying we should have never took this train out this way. 2 years from now. Watch. I guarantee it. I guarantee you. Y'all not understanding what y'all are actually, these white liberals are doing. You don't understand. If you can talk to your white liberal friend and tell them to stop, please do. Just tell them stop. Enough is enough. Anyway, fam, I'm out of here. I am out. I will be on Friday. So hold on. I ain't gonna let you go just yet. So I have some families that, and we did this before, and you guys came up with turkeys like you wouldn't believe. It was unbelievable what you guys did. And I thank you very much. But I've got some families that gonna need some help. And I'm going to ask you if y'all can help me, please, ma'am and sir. I haven't officially came out and really asked you for anything or begged you guys for anything, but I'm begging you. If there's any way you can help me out with these families, whatever you can give. If you want to go to the store and buy a couple of turkeys, I will definitely appreciate it. I will be more than happy to, wherever you at, I will be more than happy to pick it up from you. I have no problem in doing that. If you want to buy a box of macaroni and cheese, if you want to buy some can of yams or whatever you guys can help me out with, I'm begging you, please help me with these families. I like to have them have a Thanksgiving dinner. And if this shutdown goes down, and it happens, we're going to be in a world of hurt with people who just don't have it, right? I mean, we can sit here and we can bitch and moan about the welfare. We can bitch and moan about food stamps. Just stop it. Stop it. Because the God that I serve ain't never said that he will turn away somebody because they got food stamps. That's the God that I serve. Now, I don't know what God you serve, but if that's not the God, then you and I, we can't get along. You and I, we can't deal with each other. It just can't happen. Because the God that I serve tells me to take care of the poor. Correct? If you read the Bible correctly, that's what the Bible says. Take care of the poor, take care of the oppressed. Take care of the meek amongst us. Correct? So I'm asking you, ma'am and sir, if you can please help me. If you can spare a couple of dollars, I'll appreciate that too. If you want to go out and, like I said, pick up a ham, pick up a turkey, give me a call, wherever you're at, I will be more than happy to come happy to pick. Ask Spike. I've been out all the way out to Spike's house. Dude has helped me. Dude has helped me tremendously. Get water for the homeless. Anything else, and he get gloves and everything. He's right here. He's right here. Spike has been nothing but a helper to me to no end. So if you, ma'am and sir, can help me out, I'm begging right now, because I know how important it is for these families to have some food. If you can help me out, my numbers are going down. That's why I waited to the end to say this. If you can help me out, I'll definitely appreciate it. Okay? I'm out. Appreciate y'all. 2 hours on this thing. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'm out. I got to go. Y'all have a good one. Always remember God loves you and love God back like we always do. And remember, smile at somebody so somebody smile back at you. Peace, fam. I will more than likely see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good one. I'm out.